For decades, horror games have been a thrilling way for gamers to dive into eerie and unsettling worlds. Unfortunately, the genre seems to be losing some of its edge lately, with many modern horror titles failing to deliver the heart-pounding fear we remember from the classics. If you're seeking a truly terrifying experience, it's time to revisit some of the scariest games ever made. In this list, I'll highlight 10 horror games that are guaranteed to make you feel the chill down your spine, titles so haunting that every gamer should experience them at least once. Grab your controller, turn down the lights, and prepare for a truly immersive horror journey. The Amnesia series has become a beloved staple in horror gaming, bringing a unique edge to the classic hide-and-seek gameplay. Unlike other horror games that use similar chase mechanics, Amnesia captures an intense, helpless feeling that few titles can match. In Amnesia: The Dark Descent, you're left utterly defenseless in a dim, unsettling castle, pursued by nightmarish creatures that keep you on edge at every turn. While each game in the series is memorable, The Dark Descent and The Bunker stand out as must-plays. For the ultimate horror experience, The Dark Descent delivers everything you'd want: a haunting atmosphere, bone-chilling soundscapes, and a relentless sense of dread that rivals even high-budget horror titles. Silent Hill 2 stands as one of the most iconic horror games of all time, offering a psychological journey that's truly one of a kind. Despite its age, this game dives deep into the human psyche, presenting an emotional and disturbing experience that lingers long after the credits roll. If you haven't yet explored its twisted world, it's a must-play, though a remake is also on the horizon. The original might show its age in visuals, but its gameplay, characters, and storytelling remain timeless. Rather than relying on jump scares, Silent Hill 2 crafts a slow, creeping horror that gets under your skin, making it a masterpiece of the genre that every horror fan should experience. Until Dawn may not deliver the most terrifying scares, but it stands out as a masterclass in choice-based horror gameplay. This cinematic game lets you control the fate of multiple characters, immersing you in a true interactive horror movie. Released some years back, the visuals may have aged a bit, but the experience remains just as engaging. The clever use of jump scares, quick-time events, and environmental challenges keeps players on their toes, making for an intense, heart-pounding journey. While the story might not be groundbreaking, it's well-crafted, and the multiple endings based on your choices add layers of suspense. For anyone who loves decision-driven horror with a touch of cinematic flair, Until Dawn is a must-play. The Resident Evil series is a legendary collection of horror games that span multiple styles, from action and puzzles to deep storytelling and nerve-wracking atmosphere. While many focus on gameplay and narrative when ranking these games, the real horror factor often goes unnoticed. Sure, Resident Evil 7 might top many players' lists for scares, but I have to give the edge to Resident Evil Village, and not for the reasons you might think. It's all about the baby segment. Trust me, when I first encountered that terrifying baby monster, I was not prepared. Hiding under the bed, hearing those unsettling sounds, it was absolutely chilling. This moment stands out as the scariest in the entire game, a masterstroke in horror design that left me deeply unsettled. While I won't spoil it with footage, prepare yourself. This part is truly disturbing. The Evil Within series delivers two memorable horror experiences, but the first game stands out for its unpredictability and relentless tension. From start to finish, The Evil Within keeps you constantly guessing, never quite knowing what will happen next or what choices you should make. The plot may be more complex than its sequel, adding a layer of mystery that enhances its eerie appeal. It's this unpredictability that makes the first game so gripping, as every corner hides something terrifying. Unlike the second installment, which loses some of its initial intensity, the first game maintains a sense of vulnerability and dread that sticks with you. The haunting atmosphere builds from beginning to end, keeping you on edge every step of the way. Visage is an indie horror game that truly stands out, but it's definitely not for everyone. Unlike most horror games that lead you along with subtle scares, Visage gives players the freedom to explore at their own pace, forcing them to piece together the story and solve challenging puzzles. This lack of hand-holding can make the game overwhelming, particularly for newcomers to the genre. The intricate puzzles demand your full attention, intensifying the fear and adding to the overall tension. Drawing heavy inspiration from the cancelled PT, Visage delivers one of the creepiest settings in modern horror. As you progress, the environment becomes more disturbing, and the horror escalates in ways that will keep you on edge. If you're up for a nerve-wracking challenge, Visage is an unforgettable experience.
About 3 weeks. Is everything all right? Could you call me just to let me know everything's fine? All right. Bye-bye.
A while back, I discovered an indie horror game called Madison, which was hailed as one of the scariest games, scientifically speaking. Naturally, I had to see for myself, and it certainly kept me on edge for a while. However, as I played, I started to notice a pattern in how the game tried to scare you, which dulled some of its initial terror, though that might just be my experience. In Madison, you control a young boy armed with a camera, navigating his eerie, demon-infested grandfather's house. The game excels in building environmental dread, with dimly lit corridors where you often need to take photos to reveal hidden paths, or capture unsettling figures lurking in the distance. While it has its share of spine-chilling moments, Madison is a game that definitely leaves an impression. If you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend giving it a go. The Outlast series is nothing short of a horror masterpiece, and I'd recommend it to anyone looking for a terrifying experience. Both games are excellent, but Outlast 2 takes the chilling atmosphere of its predecessor and cranks it up to an entirely new level. It has everything: a mix of jump scares, nerve-wracking chases, eerie sound design, and claustrophobic spaces. But it's the way the game uses these elements that truly sets it apart. The school section in particular gave me a deep sense of unease, and for anyone with claustrophobia, the narrow, dark tunnels near the end of the game are incredibly intense. The feeling of being trapped is palpable, heightening the dread. Outlast is known for delivering an unforgettable horror experience, and after playing, I can fully agree with that reputation.
Don't touch me! I said get your hands off me! Touch disgusts me just out of you! Hey! Hey! No! No, goddamn!
Alien Isolation is an absolute gem in the horror genre, and I'm sure many of you have played it multiple times. Unlike traditional horror games that rely on jump scares, it masterfully builds tension that keeps you constantly on edge. The fear of the aliens' unpredictable attacks makes each moment feel like a life-or-death situation, especially on harder difficulties. To keep things fresh, the game introduces sections where you face off against hostile humans instead of the alien, adding variety to the gameplay. For those easily spooked, finishing this game in one sitting is a challenge. I distinctly remember hiding in closets, hoping the alien wouldn't find me. It made my heart race every time. The AI in Alien Isolation is incredibly intelligent, keeping you guessing at every turn and making the alien feel more alive and dangerous than ever. It's truly one of the most immersive and nerve-wracking horror experiences out there.
Close it down. This plan is crazy. Some kind of suicide.
It's the only plan we've got, Parker. If you've got a better one, I'd like to hear it.
Yeah.
SOMA stands out as one of the most exceptional story-driven horror games ever created, and it's a title that sticks with you long after playing. From the moment you start, the narrative grabs hold and never lets go, leaving you questioning the very fabric of reality. While many fans praise its terrifying monsters, it's the psychological horror that truly sets SOMA apart. The game expertly blends classic horror elements without overloading the experience, creating an atmosphere of isolation and despair that intensifies as you progress. The world isn't empty, yet there's a palpable sense of loneliness that creeps in, heightening the unease. What truly elevates SOMA is its flawless ending, one of the most impactful conclusions I've seen in a game. It's a perfect blend of storytelling and horror, making SOMA an unforgettable experience. And with that, we've come to the end of this list. I'd love to hear from you. What horror game gave you the most chills, and which one are you still yet to try? Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support helps keep the content coming and allows me to continue sharing these terrifying experiences with you. Thanks for watching, and I hope you find your next game that'll keep you up at night. Stay spooky, everyone.